Fortnite Chapter 2. You either really loved it or really hated it. This was the chapter that for most people defined Fortnite. This chapter had very cool things that happened throughout its duration. So let's go ahead and go back to the very beginning and see what made this chapter so great. This new chapter changed everything. The new graphics we got were overhauled from the original Chapter 1 graphics. And we got the first introduction of a weapon that took 2 item slots, the bandage bazooka. This chapter was a start to a brand new part of the game, with a brand new map, redesigned items, and brand new mechanics. And now that we had water that was swimmable in the game, Fortnite also decided to add fishing rods, which allowed us to fish for heals, weapons, ammo, and specifically the mythic goldfish. This item was crazy and super overpowered. It one-shot enemies with just one throw. And it was extremely rare. It had a 1 in 1 million chance of spawning. And the first ever event of Chapter 2 was at Risky Reels, which was the Star Wars live event. While this event wasn't very greatly received by the community, it was still an amazing event and had very cool things to it. Overall, this season was a really great season and a really good start to this new chapter. But there was one problem. It was the longest season in Fortnite history and lasted 128 days, which is record-breaking. But after a long-awaited wait, we got to the next season, Chapter 2, Season 2. Many players have agreed that this is one of the best seasons of all time for Fortnite. This season was based on the storyline of 2 factions, Ghost and Shadow, and their war on the island. This brand new season introduced many cool mechanics, including shaking down enemies, phone booth to transform yourselves in disguise to hide from enemy henchmen, and the addition of mythic weapons and locations for all of these bosses to live at. This season also introduced the ability to throw consumables and the new vehicle Choppa. At the time, Ghost vs Shadow, the community was able to vote which team would win the season, and as time went on, different locations would change those themes, including the bosses that lived there. This season also introduced the very first crossover skin in the Battle Pass, which was Deadpool. It took the entire community by surprise and was a very loved skin at the time. And what is known as the best event that has ever happened in Fortnite, arguably. The Travis Scott event happened this season, and if you didn't attend it, well, you missed out. And a combined total of 45.8 million players played the event, which is crazy for the time. And following the Travis Scott event, we had one of the most anticipated events of this chapter, the Device event. 20 million players decided to tune in to watch the Fortnite map change. And in this event, we watched the storm get moved, we got teleported into a strange office, the agency got destroyed, and we met Agent Jones all in one event. And you cannot forget, when we come back, the storm turned into a giant wall of water. After this event, for the next day we had to sit around with the water as the storm. But after that can close, the servers went down and we got brought into Chapter 2, Season 3. This new season flooded the entire Fortnite map, and as the weeks went on, the map would slowly begin to unflood, revealing new locations. This season also added Marauders, which would drop out of the sky and try to kill you. They were very annoying at the time. We also got a new gun called the Charged Shotgun and new mythics like Ocean's Bottomless Chug Jug, Ocean's Burst Assault Rifle, Kit's Charged Shotgun, and Kit's Shockwave Launcher. We also got Jules Drum Gun and Jules Grappler. We also got to be able to ride sharks that would lurk in the water as we played the game. Another thing that came later this season was Aquaman. He came later in the season, but yet he was such a cool skin for the time, another crossover skin in the Battle Pass. The Aquaman skin also brought his own POI with him, Coral Castle. This POI wasn't exactly greatly received by the community, and it survived the entire chapter. This season also brought along one of the most requested features of all time for Fortnite, drivable cars. Alongside of that, gas cans were also added, which also allowed the new feature of fire, which was new in this season. And sadly, during this season, the Apple vs Epic game lawsuit broke out, and that Epic Games was removed from the App Store on Apple. This caused millions of players worldwide to not be able to play Fortnite Mobile because of Apple. But moving on from that, towards the end of the season, a mysterious crater appeared south of Salty Springs. And sure enough, in this crater, Thor's hammer was there. And sure enough, that old hammer brought us to the next season, Fortnite Chapter 2, Season 4. This is one of Fortnite's only collab seasons at the time, which was crazy. We got a battle pass with skins that we've been asking for a long time, like Iron Man, Thor, and others. This entire battle pass was themed around Marvel villains and superheroes. This season was crazy because the entire map got new Marvel mythics and Marvel themed locations. This whole season built up to the finale event, which was the Galactus event. But towards the end of the season, we had one of the biggest Fortnite mares of all time, and it was insane. Midas came back as a ghost, and when you died, you had the chance to respawn and become a ghost and kill the other players. This Fortnite mares event was insane, and players honestly had really mixed feelings about it.
Fort down from a bunch of ghosts and busted on all of them.
What?
Anyways, Cypher. Then, sure enough, after the super amazing Galactus event, we were let into Chapter 2, Season 5. Oh, you thought last season had a bunch of collabs? Oh, just you wait. This season, top that. We had so many collabs. We had The Mandalorian, Kratos, Halo, The Walking Dead, Green Arrow, The Gref G, Predator, Snake Eyes, The Flash, Tron, Street Fighter, The Alien, Laserbeam, and Ant-Man. A total of 14 collabs this season. This season even introduced 2 new mechanics, sand tunneling and gold bars. With sand tunneling, you can go onto the map while under the sand, and gold bars were a currency that you can spin around the map with NPCs. And after Jonesy decides to jump into the loop and bring all these hunters to the island, he ends up turning on the Imagine Order, and that leads us into Chapter 2, Season 6. Now before we could load into this season, we had to play the Zero Crisis event. This event was a personal event, meaning only one player could play, and as you played, you watch as the Spire begins to be constructed, and the Foundation seals a 0 point to save the entire reality. With the Foundation doing this, the entire island is launched into a primal season. This season changes old POIs to be primal themed, including many locations around the map, and there was new wildlife roaming around the island. For example, we had raptors, wolves, and boars that would walk around the map that you could kill. We also had weapons like the bows, which would come in many different variants. And this season, Fortnite also added vehicle mods, which was the chunker tires. But as the season came to a close, the community noticed something that was a little out of this world, if you know what I mean. And that led us into Chapter 2, Season 7. This season was based around aliens and them invading the island. They started off the entire season by destroying the Spire with the 0 point, sending the Foundation into the ocean. During this season, POIs were abducted into the giant mothership and were slowly destroyed and taken from us, leading up to the finale event of this season. During this season, the Whiplash car was replaced with the Ferrari and the collab car, and we got very many odd items, like the inflatable, Grabitron, and Propifier. This season, we even got LeBron James in the game, which is just crazy. And you cannot forget another huge, massive concert in Fortnite, the Rift Tour by Ariana Grande. In this event, we fought the Storm King. We even listened to Juice WRLD during this event. And then it all ended with Ariana Grande smashing the thing we were on, and we went right back to the island. Now after this event, the finale event, Operation Skyfire, was underway. During this event, we brought a bomb onto the mothership and secretly tried to blow up the mothership. Sloan ended up betraying us and leaving us to die, and we found Kevin the Cube, and we ended up rebooting it and turning it blue. And just as we thought the mothership was gonna blow up, and then the cube saved us and brought us back to the island, and we came crashing down with all the cubes. And after the event, we were brought into Chapter 2, Season 8. Since the mothership crashed, cubes are now all over the island, scattered across the island with broken parts from the UFO. And we have to fight against the Cube Queen, an evil force that sends zombies to kill us. As the season progresses, cubes around the map were beginning to move and conjoin with each other. And when things started to get intense, Fortnite decided to distract us by dropping the Naruto collab. But soon, the cubes conjoined in the center of the map and made the Convergence, which was a giant town of cubes. And then soon, the Cube Queen turned the Convergence into the Pyramid. And as she got more powerful, it led up to the chapter finale, the end. And then during the end event, we decided to fight against the Cube Queen, and she ended up destroying our blue cube. And after we couldn't fight off the zombies any longer, we went underground to find out what was going on. And it turns out we were being rescued by the scientists to get on the other side of the island. The island was slowly flipping, and we needed to act fast. So the Foundation saved Jonesy, and we got to the other side. But that's then before a giant monster broke the glass and flooded the entire room. When we got back to the surface, we saw the entire map flip over. And the Cube Queen was destroyed for good. But the map flipped, and we got brought to a brand new map. But flipping the entire island caused a giant tsunami which eventually flooded us. And just like that, chapter 2 had come to a close. This chapter was honestly so great. There were so many great seasons and great memories that I know people made during this chapter. And for me and many others, it will always hold a special place in my heart. I'll never forget the late nights staying up waiting for the new seasons to drop and the hype on the new battle passes. Those are the kind of memories that you sadly can't get back no matter what they do. But there is some good news about chapter 2. As I'm recording this, chapter 2 is going to possibly come back with the next OG season. And if it does, you already know I'm going to be playing it. So, I gotta say man, chapter 2 was the best chapter. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the most effort I've ever put into a video before, and I want to thank you all for watching. Bye!